in the Wilson's playing field, and also Hyams, and also the Uncock Garden Village. I'm always keen to make sure they progress. Very exciting for the borough. All good news.
Let's move with us, Martin, just like a little bit.
I'll be reading short.
Wow, Miles, it's almost like you're giving an interview. Almost like you're giving an interview. Is it hard to do old habits die hard?
Oh no, I just thought I had a bit of spare time.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to pop along to the occasional one.
Of course it is, and it's all right if you just happen to be sat next to the press officer and, you know, just mention all those things that you just mentioned. I mean, like, it's just convenient, I suppose. What do you agree? I like Miles sitting there, like people waving at him. I think they're waving at me. You know, hi there. I know Marlene's not waving at me though. Definitely not.
Hi Malcolm, didn't see you there.
Hello, Miles.
How are you keeping?
All right. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I was in yesterday. I wanted to be here.
Why, what we're up with?
I've just come back from America.
Oh, right, on that cruise.
On that cruise.
Oh, right. Did you have a good time?
Smashing. Yeah, lovely.
Which one did you go on? P&O, was it?
No, Sky Princess.
Oh, right. Yeah, we've been on Sky Princess. It's lovely, isn't it?
Right
Good service.
Right upstairs, up top there. Sky Suite.
Did you have a few mudslides? They're the nicest mudslide drinks. Cocktail.
I had one.
We had this bartender when we were on, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. At the end of the cruise, he gave us a bottle of Prosecco.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Right, good afternoon everybody. I'm going to start because we have quite a large agenda today to get through. Before I start, there has been something that I need to address, and that is that quite a few people have been and asked me if they could ask questions at this meeting. I have to say that at no time will I allow this meeting to become an open and general debate. But by the same token, I do realise that there are councillors in and at the meeting, and I will, after taking some advice, I will allow the councillors to ask one question each, but I cannot allow members of the public to ask questions. As I've said, it is not a meeting for public debate, it is a meeting for the council and its position and the things, the reports that we're putting forward. So that is how I started, and that is how we'll carry on. Welcome to the meeting. We have apologies from Councillor Zach Khan, who is playing
Where they can ask questions.
a sailor for
Why
the
didn't
next
the councillors go
couple
to
of
those
weeks.
meetings to ask the questions at these specific meetings? Why wait till this meeting?
Melissa, yeah.
At one of the meetings, there was absolutely no
How is
evidence.
Kate, by the way, and the baby, okay? Good, good. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Are there any dispensations
Should be.
that any members want to declare? No? Right.
That's not a secret, maybe.
Well, we'll now move to item 3, which is minutes of the Cabinet, which took place on the 13th of September 2023. Oh, yes.
Can I just comment on the
Yeah, when I said about them. Okay.
Jump in the run a bit there, Stephen.
Which
Come
are
on.
included in the main agenda. I'd like to move those minutes. Do I have a seconder? I'll second. Thank you. And are there any comments on those minutes, Councillor Smithson?
Thank you,
Councillor
Chair.
Smithson.
just like to inform Cabinet that the weekend brewery service in Higham started on the 7th of October. I'm really pleased that this Conservative administration has delivered this important service for the residents of Higham. I would like to thank the council officers for the work they've done to get this service up and running.
Thank you, councillors.
Well done, the
Councillor
Conservatives.
Eunice.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to thank Council Stephen Smithson and the officers for providing us this very badly needed service, which the residents feel very happy, and we welcome this. Thank you for delivering this very important service.
Thank you, councillor Eunice. Are there any other? Yes, councillor.
Yes, Sylvia, thank you, Chair. I also like to welcome the service and like to thank everybody involved in making this possible. I think the service post COVID that many residents wanted it, and I'm glad that apparently it is up and running. Thank everyone concerned, and hopefully it will be used at the weekends by appropriate people.
Thank you, councillor. I totally agree with you. It's a massive move forward for this borough, and I'm quite sure that it will succeed. We do need a show of hands to confirm the minutes. All in favour? Against? Are there any abstentions? No. Right, we move to item 4, which is urgent decisions that have been taken recently in connection with the decant accommodation for the market hall traders and the proposed acquisition of Northfield Works. I do believe that this is Councillor Eunice. I'm inviting you, Councillor, to
Give your report.
Thank you, Chair. As the report is well explanatory, but I just wanted to
Self-explanatory.
reiterate a few things.
Self-explanatory. Anyway.
Market traders decant and accommodation. Decant will be completed by end of December with the traders agreement. Some market traders are retiring, rest will be relocated. Everyone who wants to carry on trading will be offered the facilities to do so.
Is that going to be after Christmas?
Units outside town and market hall will be there from 31st of January 2024 to 31st of March 2025, when the levelling up should be completed and the government guidelines require the council to do so. Before the work to begin for the redevelopment of market hall, the traders will have their accommodations ready in mid-December for them to start trading in January. Since the appointment in June, the decant project team have been in regular dialogue with the market traders. Some traders moved to empty shops on the roadway, some retired, but still considerable number of traders wish to be accommodated and continue with their trade. With the constraints of time, the project team had to order much needed units from the Rapid Retail Limited, as it meets the requirements for the design and delivery in time to make sure that there is no unnecessary delays. Waiving the council contract procedure rules was to meet the very tight timescale to avoid any unnecessary delays, informally tendering and ordering units for the trade to have it up and running with the traders return in the new year. Due to very tight timescale, all the urgent necessary decision was taken to meet the requirement for the trade to continue as normal and the levelling up project to be completed and delivered on time by the deadline March 2025. I move and recommend a report to the Cabinet.
Thank you, Councillor Eunice. Councillor Pratt, do you wish to speak on this?
On the Northfield Works.
Oh, right, sorry. Right, thank you, Councillor Eunice. Just to add to that, only because I've been very heavily involved with the market traders and the decants, and do get a report every Tuesday morning from the people who are dealing with it, and they handle it exceptionally well, regardless of what you might hear on the grapevine and what you might read on Facebook. They have organised a trip for the traders with a coach to Ormskirk, which is where the units that they're going to be using are being built, and there they will be shown the different kinds of units that their particular trade will be given.
That's a good idea.
And will be used in the decant. So I think that's exceptionally good.
Are they throwaway
I'm
units?
sure that it will move
Or will they be
forward
using them again?
straightforward. And if anybody of you, any of you have seen different coloured chalk lines up and down the town centre, it's that they're looking for the electric points and the gas and the water, etc., etc. Councillor Aziz?
You've stolen my thunder,
Just
Chair.
been enough.
Sorry?
You've stolen my thunder, Chair.
Oh, there you go.
There's
Easy.
been-
I'm gonna
Oh,
say it must be
the,
this holiday you've been on.
On
You know, you
town square tonight,
it
exactly
was
where
just
the
to
electric
say,
points are.
given that most of
It's
the
planned about
town
15,000
seems to
times.
be spray painted rather than chalk.
Well,
Currently,
whatever.
and red, white, and blue, I believe. Is that to do with the DECA project?
Yes.
And can you assure us that it is not permanent paint? That otherwise we're going to have to be on our hands and knees scrubbing it, because that isn't coming off.
I'm sure you will volunteer, Councillor Reid.
Anything for the community, I'm there. If there's a photo involved.
Come on, Councillor. You're not going to get on your knees for the community, are you?
No, they are.
We have to clean up somebody's mess all the time.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Not like your knees with inferences you make.
I didn't think it could be the same person.
Listen, I'm not agreeing with you, David.
Well, I'm inclined to agree, though.
Nice to you today.
If you like to
And
go
that's
better.
pleasant.
But yes,
pleasant.
I think
Quite pleasant.
that is what they're for, the marks.
And the
Just to
drainage
show-
system as
Went
well.
over red
Yeah,
because
and
it's a little
the
bit.
drainage. Because obviously some of the units and some of the traders will need different things than other traders
Yeah.
will need. But
They
it
throw
all
away
seems to be
units,
going
or
very well,
are they reusable?
and we're moving in the right direction.
If they're bespoke,
No,
sounds like a throwaway.
no voting is needed for this. It's just denoting only. There's no voting required.
Just for
Item
information.
Yeah, item 4.
Mm,
now
she
is
struggles with numbers, does Marlene, to be fair.
the Northfield
You know,
Works,
with people.
which I do believe is you.
She's a bit old.
Approval to acquire the Northfield Works site was granted via the Cabinet urgent powers procedure following consultation with party leaders immediately after the last Cabinet meeting on the 13th of September 2023.
She's on the
The
14th.
urgent Cabinet report is attached to the agenda for information purposes. However, I can update Cabinet and advise that Council's offer to acquire the site has been accepted. The Council's legal team is in contact with the vendor's solicitor and progressing the acquisition. Following planning considerations, we have concluded that the existing Council vehicle maintenance unit is more suitable for a waste transfer station than the Northfield Works site. We are therefore currently considering using the CVMU unit for waste transfer purposes and the Northfield Works for vehicle maintenance purposes. We are taking steps to see if the CVMU will be suitable and appropriate solution for a waste transfer station. Such a decision will be subject to planning consent and agreement from Lancashire County Council and the Environment Agency,
That's to replace
and
my
whether a
yeah.
more suitable solution is found. Should the grounds for acquiring the Northfield Works site change, a further report will be brought to Cabinet to seek approval to acquire the site for a different purpose other than waste transfer purposes, such as an investment property.
Perhaps housing.
Report.
Thank you, Councillor, for that. That is just for noting, let's hope that that comes to fruition as well.
Does it mention the
Because
local
that
plan
could
at
save
all?
the council in
Possibly.
the long term, quite a lot of money. I
Yeah,
know.
well, really well, cross party as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was.
Cross
both
party
parties
what?
was involved in
Do you mean
decisions.
Labour agreed it and you're just taking over? Is that what cross party is in your eyes there, Stephen?
Hopefully, it's
No, Chairman. Yeah,
I love your
thank you.
definition of cross party.
I've read the report in detail, and
I don't think you've read anything.
I do hope that alternative options are being explored, and I'm sure they are.
I know.
We need to continue to explore those options, because I am on the Development Control Committee at County Hall, and waste transfer stations in the middle of terraced properties haven't gone well. So I'm hoping that all options will be explored, so that this can be addressed. Basically, it needs to be addressed. I agree, because LCC and various other organisations over the last 5 or 6 years have let Hindman as well as East Lancashire districts down in this, basically.
Wow.
But we have to find a solution, because it's fallen on our laps, and I hope that all options are explored. And we welcome the purchase of the building. I think the building and also the location and the freehold certainly would be an asset for the council in the long run. But I'm slightly concerned about the waste transfer station and the location, and I hope all options are explored.
I'm sure there will be, councillor.
I wouldn't say I
I'm sure
can
there
agree
will
with
be.
that.
But it will be a great thing for Hindman if we're successful in, getting it going.
Yes, it will.
It will save us so much money that
About saving money.
we're looking at like the savings of around about £1 million a year. Am I
£1
close
million
there,
a year.
Councillor
Wow.
Smithson? Could be more even.
More than
So,
a million.
I think it's an avenue that we have got to explore.
Oh,
But
definitely.
again, I take on board what you're saying, we've got to explore it, but with the right attitude and being very careful that we've got it right.
I do too. Maybe we can knock the houses down.
For me, I think it's important to highlight, Chair.
Sorry?
I think it's important to highlight, currently, all the waste that we dispose of goes to Winnie Hill.
I don't think it
Even though
does.
we're not going there, Bury Council will be going there. Other councils across the northwest will be able to use the facility on our doorstep.
I don't want to pay.
And that, for me, is astonishing. That neither Burnley or Hindman will back onto that site, will no longer have use of that, but yet Bury Council, from miles away, can. And that, for me,
You know?
the blame for that solely lies with the Conservative Lancashire County
Tenders
Council.
go out.
And that's why we're at Hindman Council is at this position, because the lack of inaction at county has led to this. And it's, for me, shameful that Bury Council can use our tip,
They want to
yet
pay
we're
more.
not able to. Astonishing.
Lancashire County Council, eh?
I'll take on board, as I've said, councillor.
And
Aziz, at the beginning of this meeting, I refused to get into it.
Yeah, let's not get into it, Aziz.
I'll speak to you after on it if you
Oh
want,
yeah, in private.
and give you all the information that we have.
In
As
secret.
one of Lancashire leaders, maybe I can give you a little bit more
Hmm.
information on the
Maybe,
waste
maybe not.
service than we can here. So I look forward to hearing from you, and we'll have a chat about it.
thank you.
I look forward to it being publicised.
Right, that again is just the noting. So I'm moving on to item 5, which is reports of cabinet members. But first of all, I have an announcement to make, which is regarding the very fantastic welcome news that on the 1st of October, the government announced an extra £20 million for
Thought you were going to say she was
Accrington
pregnant or something.
as part of the long-term plan the town's left behind
Fantastic news.
that have been overlooked and taken for granted. Accrington is one of the 55 towns, along with Darwin, Burnley and Nelson, that will benefit from a £1.1 billion levelling up up investment over the next 10 years.
You're very lucky.
The funding aims to help reviving Accrington High Street, tackling ASB, improving transport, and growing the local Accrington economy. It's a fabulous opportunity to support our long-term ambitions and work in tandem with the funding that we've already received.
I agree.
This new funding will be steered directly by local people through the town board, people who live in the area who will be at the heart of the decisions,
I won't.
and I am looking
Stakeholders will make all
forward
the decisions.
to being part of the next stage.
We are a stakeholder.
Under the new approach, local people
But it will be better.
will be put in charge,
No, they won't.
and they'll be given the tools to change Accrington's long-term future. And to receive a 10-year, 20 million endowment-style fund to be spent on local people's priorities, like regenerating Accrington Town Centre or securing public safety. Utilise the town board to bring together community leaders, employers, local authorities and the local MP to deliver the long-term plan for Accrington and put it to local people for consultation. Use a suite of regeneration powers to unlock more private sector investment by auctioning empty Accrington High Street shops, reforming licensing rules on shops and restaurants, and supporting more housing in Accrington Town Centre. As leader, I'm really looking forward to working with the board and local businesses and the community, councillors and our MP.
And the management company, because
So that is more good news that we're able to tell you
it's
about what's
excellent
happening
things.
in Accrington. Are any of the councillors, Councillor Eunice, you'd like
Yeah,
to
thank you, Chair. It's a very encouraging and welcome news.
I agree.
On top of already levelling up project
It's a
in
fantastic
progress.
injection for the borough.
Not only extra 20 million has been announced, also there's a lot of private investment is
There's also money for
coming down,
parks.
which is also a welcome sign because of levelling up,
You know,
because of the money has been coming into
about 30 million altogether.
Accrington Highway, and therefore a lot of private investors are showing a lot of interest to help us to develop the town, which is a very welcome sign.
Why wouldn't they? We have a lot of aspirational houses to fill.
Anybody else wish to? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think we welcome the extra money
I'm
coming
so
in.
glad
Oh,
that
absolutely.
As always.
Fantastic,
It's,
fantastic.
The only concern that I have is that the townships, outer townships, are missing out again
Well, you know,
with no money.
it's
But
fine.
the proposal. Can I just finish?
Parks.
Councillor, I know you're very keen, you know.
Parks are being done up with
Yeah,
that.
just want to finish out with obviously. Yeah, the money, I hope, there are so many priorities within Accrington itself.
There are, but the market
That's
has been
£2
done.
million per year for the next 10 years. But where are we going to use it? Are we going to use it as sticking plaster, or are we going to
No.
use it for supporting what? It sounds £20 million a lot of money, but
It is a lot of
for
money.
10 years and £2 million a year, it doesn't look that much.
No, but
The other thing I
we've
can
got
say
till
is
2025 to spend it.
over the last
It
13
does
years,
look like a
the
lot,
amount
doesn't
of
it?
funding cuts this government has done for places like Hindon, this is peanuts to people compared to what it's coming.
It's
But
not
as I said,
peanuts.
we welcome
It's a lot of
this,
money.
especially because it's you announced it, Marley. We certainly welcome the money, any money that's coming in for Hindon or Accrington.
I'm glad about that.
It's always a welcome bonus.
I think also if you are so keen on what the money is spent on, it might be a good idea if you join the board. Should
Wouldn't matter,
you
it's out of your hands.
be lucky enough to be re-elected next year, it will be great for you to be on the board
It wouldn't matter, it's out of your
and
hands.
help
It's not your decision on what it's being spent on.
make a decision on where the
It's
money
being
is
spent to improve Accrington.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it's out of the council's hands. It'll be a lot better.
Okay, can I point
It's a
out
fantastic
to
opportunity.
Councillor Gadd that these monies are extras. They're on top of all the levelling up monies
It's true.
that are coming in.
Extra £900,000 for
But
parks.
I think perhaps what you
Another
don't
welcome bonus.
realise is that the money that comes into the town centre,
It's for the
well,
town
we
centre.
obviously need to spend monies, actually releases money that we can spend on the district.
Yeah, because you don't have to
As
spend it on
we
that.
as you know, we have been doing. And one of the projects I hope that it will release monies for is for us to get the civic reopened after the bad management that's gone on.
Yeah. We were saying that yesterday though.
Thank you, Councillor Ripley. Councillor Aziz?
Councillor Howard, just to address a couple of points. Myself and Councillor Fisher have written to Michael Gove saying we don't think this money is for the whole of Highland, given the restriction, and that we believe the townships, whether on Old Whistle,
Councillor
whether
Aziz,
Clayton
Labour
Road,
Party could
Great
put the
Howard,
quotes in.
miss out yet again. And we think it should be
When you're in
far more
control,
open
you
to
put
allow
the
us
bids
to
in.
invest in the township because they're being let down. And
Mouse headed it up.
for me, I think
And now
you
you're
should
picking up
join
about
us
it.
because you look at the
Come on.
restrictions on this money, they're very, very stringent.
You got what you
Ultimately, we're elected.
If you
They
were
should
still on the
trust
other
us to
side of the
make the
fence,
decision
and you were still
locally.
in
That's
control,
what they talk
it would be
about.
best
Being
things
commission.
since sliced
This
bread.
was the chance to do it. They've
No.
not done it, and
Get
it's a
over
great shame for the Conservative.
The
Talking to
Conservative
them,
gave
yet
the
when
money.
you look at the
Instead of 20
detail,
million.
it's lacking.
Not
And
less,
coming
20
on to
million.
Council
Get over
Victor
it.
this point, bad management. Isn't
By
one
you.
of your Conservative councillors on the board as a trustee? So I find that remarkable that you make that remark, that bad management, when one of your fellow councillors
Councillor
was
Aziz.
on the trustee.
What are
You
you
made the
on
comment.
about?
Yeah,
But I think that's a
getting
shameful
into-
comment. You should
Councillor
withdraw
Aziz,
it.
just shut
Absolutely
up.
disgusting.
£20 million
I'm
injection.
not getting
What's
into
the problem?
a discussion at this point
Honestly,
about the
we voted for you.
Civic Art Centre. We are talking.
Then that comment should be withdrawn.
What comment?
I'm talking to you.
It's shameful.
Not
We're
shit,
talking
what
to
are you
you
talking
at the
about?
moment. I am more concerned
Take it
with
easy.
the fact that we are, whatever you might think, £2 million a year every year for 10 years is better than no £1 million
That's not
every
true.
year for 10 years.
That's not true.
And I'm
It's
very,
20
very
million.
happy
It's 20 million.
that
It has
we
to be
got
spent
it.
by April
And I don't
25.
care where we spend
So,
it,
you know,
the mere fact that we've
I
got
let's
that
save a bit of money
we've been
on not
awarded
spending
that
it on the
money
council.
shows that
Let's not spin it
we
by
are
getting
making
2
some
million a year for 10
impression
years, because you know,
down in
back to the
Westminster
telling porcupines.
by the
20
when
million,
giving
spend it by
something
April
to start
25,
with, so come
or
on,
give back what's left.
let's celebrate it. Not
2 million a year.
let's
It's
not
telling lies.
trifle with it.
I mean, why
For
are you doing that?
goodness sake,
Tell us the truth.
treat it with the
You know,
you know, gosh, I get lost
it's a
for
good
words
thing.
with you
I
because
agree. It's an
it's
excellent thing for the
so-
town. Don't lie about it.
Well, hang on, Mr. Eunice. I really get lost for words that people can be so negative about £20 million.
Not being
Like
negative
it's
about 20
nothing.
million, but don't lie about what it's been spent on.
And it's
And
£2
I'll-
million a year, and
No,
you
it's
still
not.
treat it
not
like
2
it's
million a
nothing.
year.
They
You're
should be
lying.
giving us more.
It's
You
20
always
million.
want
If you haven't
more,
spent it
more,
by
more.
April 25, it's got to go back. You might get a
Well,
further
there,
extension.
at this moment
You
in
might
time,
not.
there is no more, but it might
But on
be.
10 years of an extension,
So let's
not a
just
chance.
celebrate the fact that we got the £20 million.
And it's got to go in a year.
The government taking
No,
a lot
No,
more.
they haven't robbed us of anything, Councillor Aziz. The council put their bids in and they failed. They failed. They had to get outside help to get the bids they got.
Mr. Rightly said, the money, extra money coming into town is releases the other money you can spend
That's
on
true.
the parts
That's
of the
true.
borough.
That's absolutely true.
Other parts of the boroughs are just
It won't
as
be 2 million a
important
year.
as it to you.
Because they don't spend 2 million a year on the town centre now. So why they suddenly throw a magic 2 million a year up?
It will have effect on the other townships as well.
But it is
And
true.
by
They will
spending
spend
this
some money,
levelling up funding in town,
but nowhere near 2
which is
million.
obviously the string trust as well, which I can assure you, you will probably hear some more. The private investors, because of levelling up, are moving into town. For example, the Wilkinson, or Wilco you call it, has been bought by a private the levelling
Of
of
course they are.
Hackney
They're
Town
spending
Centre.
10
And
million on
he
a
has
market hall. Of
approached us
course they're
because
going to
of
be moving
levelling
in.
up. So therefore,
Why would they
the
not?
private investors
That's
are
obvious.
interested because of levelling, because the money is spent
It
in
is
town.
because the money's being
Obviously,
spent.
we
Of
care
course
about
it is.
the townships, we do.
You
But
do.
it's not just you care about it, we all do. But we got to spend it
It's a
where
drip-down
you know, how the
system.
money is coming. And obviously,
drop-down
this 2
process.
million a year will have some
It's not
effect
2 million a year.
on-
Stop
on
saying
the
it's 2
township
million a
as
year
well.
when it ain't.
So Councillor Hughes, can I come back to you on that one?
No, I'm not taking it any further. What
No,
I will
don't
say
take it any
is you're
further.
always on about Great Harwood gets nothing.
Yeah,
Do
what's
you
true
know how
do?
much Great Harwood have had from this council
Not so
over
much.
the last 9 months?
Do you know how much they take?
Put the clocks down.
You are joking me. You need to check your
Do you know
figures,
how much- do you know how much the
councillor.
council take from Great Harwood?
They've had nearly 8,500.
For 48,500, wow. He spent more than £8,500 on this meeting, probably. He spent £67,000 on the election. On what?
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you, Chair.
8,500.
Just to reiterate that the
Wow.
townships are not forgotten by this council.
I think they are.
Oswald Twistle, the council invested a lot of money into Bury Meadows. Clayton Moors, we've invested into Mercer Park, which
Yeah.
Councillor Fisher
We
welcomed.
got £900,000
We've also
lottery
invested in Great
grants
Harwood
and
through
levelling up
Memorial
money for
Park.
it. Council
We've
haven't
had
really
a
actually put
levelling
any
up
money in.
fund for parks,
To be fair.
for Great Harwood.
Don't pretend that you
Put
have.
into Memorial
Yeah.
Park. We've also
Lottery
invested,
grants.
and I remember councillors like yourself and other Great Harwood councillors meeting me at Milton Close Park, were invested in that. So to say that other townships are not getting investment,
Nobody's saying they're not getting investment, but
They
the
are.
council aren't investing in it.
is there more to do? Yes.
Levelling up is.
And are we going to do it? Yes, we are. Thank you.
Not with this sort of spin, you know.
I'm moving on from that.
I'm going to say something positive. So
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Thank you. I hope it is positive,
It will
councillor
be
Dan.
positive.
Good.
It's positive. And I agree with Councillor Bridges that we need to look at
We do.
bringing our centre back into use
We do.
as soon
I
as
agree.
possible. So that building shut down for 9 months a year will do no good to anybody in that area. So as soon as that building
No
is
good.
used, the better. And that's the sort of buildings, and that's the sort of project where money needs to be invested in.
Perhaps
Absolutely.
invest in
Yeah,
youth clubs,
absolutely.
invest in the youth,
But we have to go
invest in
through
children.
the
You know, they're
professional
our future.
channels that we have to go
I'm
Thank
through.
you.
with you on that one.
Oh, you got a way to
before we
alter
do
you
anything.
to think about it.
We're now at the stage where we can start to do something, and believe me, in the background we are working very hard.
Yeah.
And Councillor Wycliffe is one of those that's
Not
working
far in
very
background,
hard,
you can't
because
know it.
like myself and others in Oswald Twistle, the Civic Theatre is very, very important thing that we have, and we do look after it, or we try to look after it, but it needs a lot of money spending
It
on
does.
it.
Can I just say
It needs getting into
that yesterday at the scrutiny committee, I pointed out that we need to look very carefully at safety procedures at the Civic. You know, there's a lot of people visit there, and
You did.
actually some of the safety
You mentioned the
certificates
roof a bit.
weren't up to date. So
Higher
it's very
precautions and
important
everything.
that we check all those
Very
avenues
important.
before we even start to
We don't want to put the public in
contemplate
danger.
the work that might need to be done. And also, just to add to that, we have got to get it right. So it might be a slow process, and I think that people have to be patient.
Yep.
But we as a group are very
Patience
determined
is the key.
to restore the civic.
Thank you. To be fair, they said the same about Mercer Swimming Baths, didn't they? So look at that.
Absolutely, here. Right, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, move on, Molly. Can't remember what number we're on. We're on 6.
I'm moving on to item 6,
Ooh,
which is the new corporate strategy for 2023 to 2028.
4 years.
This current corporate strategy is coming to an end, and its lifespan, and this provides the council with the opportunity to reflect and refresh the aims and objectives of the council for the next 5 years. The new strategy covers 3 main priorities, which are sustainable growth, environment and climate change, and community and collaborative working. The strategy also aims to transform Highburn using the following projects: Accrington Town Centre Levelling Up funded projects, Huntcourt Garden Village, Leisure Transformation, UK Shared Prosperity Fund, Heritage, Culture and Arts, Climate Change and Net Zero targets. These aims and objectives will help drive the council and the borough forward for the next 5 years. The strategy was pulled together across a number of engagement sessions with service managers, stakeholders, and also went to scrutiny in July for everyone to comment on. The strategy is a key part of robust governance and helps provide a direction for the next 5 years and forms part of the council's policy framework as defined in our constitution, and as such needs to be adopted by the full council. This report recommends the corporate strategy. It will be sent to council for approval. It also recommends the executive director of legal and democratic services, in consultation with the leader of the council, being given delegated authority to make revisions to the corporate strategy as necessary over its life. I move the recommendation as set out in the report. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second the recommendation.
Are there any comments?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to thank Stuart Sandrock and also his assistant in doing this report forward. We had a couple of meetings with him and we suggested a few things, and I think they have been included. I think very important document. Certainly we welcome that, and certainly we will support it. And I've seen quite a number of pictures. I've gone through right across Highburn, which is good. We need to include every single, because there's some beautiful areas within Highburn, right across the township. So those pictures that have been included in have been good. So certainly we will welcome that, and so that we can work together to try and make sure we can deliver it as well.
Yeah, I would concur with what you said. You've done a brilliant job. Well done, Stuart.
Well done, Stuart.
And I've looked at the photos. Some of them are really, really good, aren't they? I was quite impressed with some of them. Is there anybody else who'd like to comment? No?
Chair, with this positive comment, and I can be positive.
I know you can.
For me, I'm glad for us to make the council net zero by 2030. I know elsewhere they've started to drop this target, but I'm glad. Whatever political persuasion, that's still front and centre of our aim. Because ultimately, why we say we want to leave a better world for our next generation. And I think I'm glad, again, it's front and centre of it. And I think the council and the officers must be applauded for that. And we should, whatever administration we are, we shouldn't lose sight. And we should be more ambitious when it comes to that target. And if it means using best practice from other areas and being more radical, I think we should encourage that, especially around delivering that. So I think for me that's a positive, that it is front and centre of the report.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your positivity.
The drugs are working.
Can I have a show of hands regarding the motion? All in favour?
All in favour.
Against?
All against.
Abstentions?
Just go through the motions.
Thank you. And now we're going to item 7, which is the new procurement strategy for 2023 to 2027. And I would like to invite Councillor to present the report
emphasis on behaving commercially, achieving community benefits, and setting high standards of governance. Given the council's significant buying power in this area and beyond, it is extremely important that we achieve value for money when we purchase works, goods and services. Our procurement strategy is intended to provide guidance for officers to ensure we focus on getting the best value. This new strategy does come at the right time as we prepare to start spending the levelling up monies, UK SPF and Towns Fund grant monies that the council has received. As part of the review of procurement, I also look forward to reviewing our contract procedure rules when the new procurement reform bill comes into force. So I move this report.
I will second it. Are there any comments? Are there any comments? Sorry.
Yes, Chair. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Welcome to the report. And on page 78, the things that are included are the modern slavery. As a magistrate, Chair, we come across on many companies and individuals and traders who actually are still unfortunately using a lot of people and so I'm glad that and I hope that it is practiced as well. So I'd like to thank Peter for bringing this forward and we starting.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Aziz.
Something very positive and how
I can't call it this.
I'm going to say, but it highlights how motions and being proactive can drive policy.
Oh, right.
Because if you remember from a few months ago, the fair tax motion and how we passed it, certain councils were saying we should defer it, not sure. Yet lo and behold, in this policy document today, fair tax is reflected, and I think that's a great step because it's now within our procurement strategy. I commend the officers for including that, but I also would highlight the great work the Cooperative Party are doing to make sure every local authority is a fair tax authority, and I'm glad Hyndon is a fair tax authority. So I'm glad that's been included.
I'm so pleased that you're glad, Councillor Aziz.
Carry on like this.
It's remarkable, this meeting. You've been so nice.
You'll be voting Conservative now.
Or you'll be going on to Labour.
Right, it's been proposed, it's been seconded, we need a vote, all in favour? Against? Any abstentions? No, right, I will move on to item 8, which is the prudential indicators, monitoring and treasury management strategy update for 2023 to 2024. And again, I invite Councillor Peter Brickley to present the update on those indicators.
Right, okay. The council sets its prudential indicators, monitoring and treasury management strategy at the council budget in February 2023. This report updates standards on progress against that strategy and reports against the prudential indicators that were set at the time. The report is largely technical in nature and is designed to ensure that there is oversight by the cabinet of the actions of officers in this area. As can be seen from the report in section 6, we are maintaining our overall position at £1.787 million, although there has been some redistribution between the different categories due to a change in the methodology of how certain leases are now calculated, and they are now included in the overall figures. Section 7 of the report highlights the latest forecasts in interest rate changes that could affect both any current and future borrowing, and also the returns we can achieve through investing in short-term treasury balances. The result of interest rate changes and the high cash balances held, the council has been able to generate an additional 793,000 in 2023-24 from the original budget. This is a further increase of 444,000 to the forecast reported in the Q1 monitoring back in July. This additional investment return will be reported. This additional investment return will be key to the council returning to an underspend in year and will enable other significant in-year budget pressures to be maintained within existing financial resources. Appendix 1, Table 1 indicates that we have maintained our external borrowing well within the limits we set at the start of the year and have complied with the strategy outlined at that time. While Appendix 1, Table 2 indicates the amount of estimated capital expenditure has reduced since our original forecast at the start of the year, largely as a response to the slippage of the Accrington Town Centre and Leisure Estate capital schemes in 2024. I move the report.
The recommendation in the report has been moved. I second that motion. Are there any comments? Councillor Aziz.
Thank you, Chair.
Is this positive as well?
Always positive.
All right,
It's just
okay.
how people interpret it. I'm just misunderstood sometimes, but that's a conversation for another time. Given that it's 7.5, how our treasury management strategy is to split the amount of money we keep in one bank based on the organisation. Is that based on whether it's an organisation or is that driven by the ratings of the bank? Because even banks have within them ratings. So just a point of clarification whether that's just whether it's based on an organisation or whether it's ratings driven.
Can I ask Marty to respond?
Thank you for that. Yes, it's ratings driven.
Okay.
Yeah, all our institutes that we invest in are rated through the banking system, and we follow our investment agents' advice as to their ratings.
And is there a limit on if the bank, given what's happened with Metro Bank and one of the other ones, I'm very conscious that if the rating drops, we have enough lever to move our money elsewhere, because obviously when one bank goes, usually another follows, and I'm conscious of that.
No, sorry.
Yes, please do.
Sorry. Yeah, just in giving you the security with that, actually, because of how interest rates are working and the institutes we use, we actually only use one or two of these short-term investment banks for investing with, so we very limit who we use, and we regularly review their ratings. Actually, most of our investment this year has actually been back with the government through the debt management deposit facility, because that has been the best rate and the most secure method for us to use. So the actual returns are all coming from those type of investments.
And just follow up question to you, Chair.
Now, come on.
No, it's fair to this.
Yeah, but he's not, you know.
No, but I think it's just to highlight this prudent financial decision making. And just to confirm, given what happened 10, 15 years ago, no of our banks are overseas banks. Yeah, because one of the key things that triggers it was the Icelandic bank. So just for clarity, that at no stage do we now deposit with overseas banks.
I think you may have to technically determine what an overseas bank is, because a lot of the banking institutions are, they may seem, but just for security, as you and for comfort around the whole thing process, we basically vet all our transactions, and they're all based on basically what's the does secure liquid, and then yield is our last concern, albeit this year we've been getting very good yields.
Okay, thank you, sir. Chair,
no.
just to be, I know it's a stupid question. I've been fair, but comments like that aren't in keeping with what how you're trying to run this meeting. So I suggest, you know, if I'm getting the review.
You know, I mean, do be fair. It's not fair to all of a sudden drop a question on one of the officers without prior notification. If you have got questions and you put them in writing to the officer, I'm sure that he will respond.
That's fair. That's a fair point. But comments like stupid questions are not appropriate.
Peter.
He's running the meeting, Speaker, not you.